welcome back to Pure Evil MMA. After a crazy weekend that was UFC 226 that went down and Ultimate Fighter Season 27 finale, we have so much to discuss on today's show, and we have a couple of special guests calling in from the season of Ultimate Fighter that recently fought this weekend, including the winner, Mike Trizano. We also have Tyler Diamond calling in just about a minute. So before we do that, make sure you guys are subscribed down below because we do the show every week. This is episode number 127, I believe. And make sure you're following me on Instagram. I will update you about what happened with that. It's a long story, but they suspended my last account. They suspended Robert Black's account. It's just a mess. So I opened up a new Instagram page. It's at @PureEvilMMA_. So basically the same thing. Now, Tyler's going to be calling in any second. He recently fought this weekend against Bryce Thug Nasty Mitchell. If you guys have any questions at all, let me open up the chat room for you. Let me see 1 second here. We got a couple people tuned in, and boom. All right. So I got the chat room going if anyone has any questions. And we are going to be talking about UFC 226. There's so much that happened this weekend between Brock Lesnar announcement. I've seen a lot of mixed reactions with that. Also, a lot of people did not expect DC to win. We spoke with Rosendo Sanchez, DC's boxing coach, and it was so funny to see him go in there and literally just push a guy 3 times the size of him. But if it came down to it, I bet Rosendo would get the better half of him. All right, so Mike Trizano just confirmed that he will be calling in today in about 40 minutes from now. We got Henry Ford checking in the chat room. I ain't reading that. I ain't reading that one. That's not the Henry Ford. That's Henry Ford. But guys, there's so much going on this week. I mean, Ronda Rousey getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, Brian Ortega getting pulled out, Max Holloway, the main event, the co-main event. Kind of hard there, you know? You lose the co-main event, and they boost up Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou. It just didn't deliver. So we got Tyler Diamond calling in. We got Tyler Diamond calling in right now from Team Alpha Male and from the season of Ultimate Fighter Season 27. What's going on, Tyler? How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good. What's going on, dog?
Not much, man. You know, it's been a crazy weekend, and I bet does it still feel kind of surreal to you now that you're home? It's kind of over and done with. How do you feel? Does it still feel, surreal?
Not so much surreal. I mean, to be honest, I'm still a little disappointed because things didn't go how I wanted them to. But it's a cool feeling knowing, like, hey, man, all that hard work you did, you finally got to be where you deserve to be. I feel so. It was cool, but yeah, still a little disappointed.
You know what, man? From the way beginning of this season, I do like a Twitter chat room with some diehard elite MMA fans, and you were one of the fan favorites for a lot of the girls I noticed. And one thing I have to say, man, you're off the market now, huh?
Yeah, I am off the market now.
So that was awesome. That was pretty cool because we all saw, after the season wrapped up, we're going into fight week, and then you proposed to your girlfriend. Is this something that you knew that you were going to do before you even entered the Ultimate Fighter, or how did this, come about?
Dude, no clue. Honestly, bro, I put it all together in 2 or 3 days. And the reason why was I knew how I wanted to do it, and that was to ask her in a sunflower field. She's obsessed with them, and they're so nice here in Northern California. If you Google sunflower fields, most of them are from Northern California. They're perfect. And I knew that's how I wanted to do it. Well, unfortunately, the time of year for that is a week before my fight. That's when they're at 100% bloom and they look the best, because I have a couple buddies that are agronomists and stuff like that. So I was just kind of like, shoot, I know how I want to do it, but it's right before my fight. It would be much more ideal if I could wait till after. So I kind of was just like, well, screw it. I already know that I want to marry this girl, so I'm going to do it a week before my fight, week after, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to do it. So,
people always say, the timing never feels right. You just got to go for it. You know what I mean? If you're going to sit there and wait for the moment, if you already know this is the girl you want to spend your time with, that perfect moment isn't going to happen until, you make the moves, And I think that you did it perfectly, man. I mean, your Instagram was going crazy the second I saw that. And, man, a sunflower field, it was just kind of like a Disney moment. It really was.
Yeah. No, 100% like what you said. They say you'll never be ready for whatever in life. You just have to do it. And I am realizing that the older I get, like, there's never a perfect moment because I am a perfectionist. I'm like, I gotta wait for this. It's gonna be perfect, but nothing's ever perfect in life, and you just gotta do it, like you said. And yeah, the whole thing went perfectly though. As far as like, I got a friend who was a photographer who was just taking pictures of us. My girlfriend thought, and then bam, she got a little surprise. So she's happy.
Did you start crying? Was it a real emotional moment? Like, who was there with you? Just
Yeah,
like a cameraman?
It was literally just me, her, and then my friend who she's old. She was a wrestling mom, and so she's known me for a really long time, and she does photography now too. So I just hit her up and asked if she was available, and of course she was for something like that. And yeah, it just all came together perfectly.
So there's a lot of interesting things that people liked about you on this season of Ultimate Fighter. One of them being, you and Bryce, especially, you're big hunters, huh?
Yes. I mean, me and him are very different, but very similar in a lot of ways. Yeah.
So who did you connect with the most on this season? Because we see this a lot. Like, guys will connect in the house, and it's kind of awkward to fight someone that you have a little connection with. Did you stumble on that at all? Did that come up at all this season for you?
I would say the most people I had the best connection with was four people in particular. It was Bryce, Luis Pena, Ricky Steele, and Richie Smolin. Those four I was like really cool with.
And what about Delaney, man? Because that was like one of my favorite guys on the show. I got a real kick out of him. Going into that fight that you guys had, it seemed like we didn't really know what to expect. Besides, Delaney's kind of really hyping himself up. What did you guys think about Delaney? Did you think that he was at the level that you guys are at, or do you think because I like his tactic where, like Muhammad Ali once said, I had to make myself believe I was a champion before I could become a champion. So I did understand his approach, but what were you guys all thinking when he was, kind of acting out?
I knew what he was doing. I knew that he's trying to get his camera time, like not a ton of stuff happens in the house, to be honest. Like, it's a really boring environment for the most part. So any little thing that happens is going to probably be put on camera. So I knew he was just hyping it up, and it was all good with me. I was like, do your thing, bro, So
best moment was when DC was pointing out that he was crying there. Was it hard not to crack a smile at that moment?
Yeah, no, I laughed a lot and stuff. And they didn't show. I don't know if they didn't show what I was saying to him because it was so damn mean. But I was talking some mad shit to him when I was in his face. Because at first he did that gun thing, and then I got closer to him, and I started saying some really, really, really mean things, and that's when the tear came out.
That's when the tear came out. What did you say to him? So you're saying that you made him cry, right?
100%, yeah. And I don't know if it was me necessarily, but I think the competition just got real for him in that moment. I think it just got real in the sense like, damn, I'm fighting, and I'm fighting one of the toughest guys in the house. Like, it's just all got real in that moment for him. To paraphrase, I basically just said that his mom is going to watch him get beat up on national television. I just pretty much said that his career is going to be over after I get through with him. I just said a lot of stuff in a lot meaner way than what I just said. I was really close to him, and I was just letting him know, like, it's all over.
And that's a big tactic in fighting, like playing mind games and kind of getting the upper hand, making somebody kind of fear you. We see it with Conor McGregor. We see it all the time. But with guys that don't know you, you got to bring something to the table. And in that moment, it's very tense. Did you guys kind of, buddy up after the fight?
Yeah. After the fight, we were cool. Even before we were cool. Like, he's a lot different off camera than he is on. Like, he's a normal person. But yeah, you said something along the lines of like people kind of like me on the show and stuff. I haven't really researched a ton or read what people write, but the little bit I have seen is a lot of people thought I was like cocky and arrogant, and you say you gotta do things to like get in people's head and stuff like that. Well, dude, I had being the number one pick and just being me, even if I would have been the last pick, I had to be very, very, very confident. I had to show that I was confident. And there was so much stuff that happened like that they aren't able to show because it's only an hour, And one of the things was we all were training together and stuff like that 2 weeks before the show even aired. So before I even got pick number one, I made sure that I worked way harder than every single one of those guys and that they saw. And they all did. They all would kind of like watch me work out alone sometimes, like on the mat. And they'd all be like, on the stationary bike, like talking, chatting, and, a couple other people be sitting on the cage or whatever. And I would make sure that like I was just drenched in sweat. That I worked way harder than all of them. And I just made sure that I carried that confidence with me that, I was going to win the show. Obviously I didn't, but I had the confidence that I was going to. And I think that's really important, like you said, about the kind of mental warfare.
There's something about this season that stood out from other seasons. Obviously, everyone on this show was undefeated going into it. So obviously, there was a lot of egos going around. And I asked Lewis the same question when he came on the show. What did you learn the difference was between having an ego and being confident? What is the difference between those two?
Having an ego can be like a dangerous thing in terms of like I feel like a lot of everyday street people have big egos, and you can't necessarily say anything to them or this and that because their ego is so big they don't take constructive criticism or they don't take advice very well. But being confident is knowing that you have the abilities to be able to win the show or beat such and such person or whatever. So I feel like that was a big difference between me is like no, I'm not cocky. I'm just very confident. I know that if I do everything I'm supposed to do, I can win this show. And I'm very coachable. So yeah, I would say that was the difference.
So, man, bring us through the moment that you stepped inside the octagon for the first time. What did that feel like? You walk out, you smell the beer, the popcorn, the chicken, and the screaming fans. What was going through your mind? What did that feel like?
Man, it felt surreal. It felt great. Like I kept noticing myself on the big screen, and I was just like, wow, how weird, But at the same time, kind of knowing like this is where I belong and I deserve to be here, at the same time. So, yeah, it was just awesome. And I really hope and pray that they give me another shot to fight again, because, obviously I did lose to Bryce or whatever, but my whole thing is like, I'll never be in a boring fight ever in my life. So I really hope that they notice that and that they give me another shot. Whoever I fight next is in a lot of trouble.
Obviously, you're at a really good camp, Team Alpha Male. Have you heard anything? Like, what are your coaches thinking about right now? Like, what are your plans right now? Are you just, taking it easy before, you put any more road work down? Or what's it looking like right now with coaches? What is everyone saying to you? And what's the direction that we're heading here?
The general consensus from everyone I've talked to is they feel the same as me. They feel that I won the fight, just like I feel I won the fight. And, they're just like, well, get back in as soon as possible and we'll work and just stay positive and we'll see where things go, So, yeah, I've been kind of taking it easy since my fight. And, yeah, I'll be back in the gym here in a few days, probably next Monday, to be honest. So, yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is just a waiting game right now, and I just got to stay positive and think happy thoughts and just continue doing what I do, and that's train very hard and just continue getting better.
Who are you training with over at Alpha Male? You're training with like Darren Elkins. Who are you aside?
Yeah, so I mean that's the best thing about being on my team is I have no shortage of training partners. The guys who I go with the most are Benito Lopez, Darren Elkins, Josh Emmett, Rick Glenn, Cody Garbrandt, and then a whole lot of guys who are up and coming that a lot of people haven't heard of yet, but they will. Andrew Coyne. I mean, gosh dang, Dwight Joseph, Vince Murdoch. Like we just have so many really, really, really tough guys and a lot of quality partners, and it's been great.
Yeah, I also see that Chad's about to get ready to get back in there. I cannot wait for that moment to happen. Have you ever gone hunting with him? Have you got to hunt with him yet?
No, Chad and I haven't really gone hunting yet. Like, we've gone fishing before, and we shoot our bows together often and stuff like that. Yeah, hunting, he's so busy hunting, like, because it's one of his businesses now, too. I freaking love hunting. Like, I live for it. Like, right now, like, this weekend, I'm getting ready to head up to the mountains and go set game cameras for deer season. So I'm super pumped about that. Like, it's one of the best times of year. But me and Chad have talked about it. Like, we're going to make it happen. I think we're going to go on a pig hunt at some point this year. But, yeah, after he fights and things kind of unwind for him, we'll discuss it, hopefully get after it and make a plan.
So did you get to watch any of the other fights on the finale card?
Yeah, I did a little bit from the green room on the TV. I mean, I was kind of upset, so I was just kind of sitting there chilling, drinking some water, and watching some fights on the green screen or whatever. But yeah, I mean, not a ton.
What about UFC 226? What did you think about Stipe versus DC, and who did you think was going to win that fight going into it?
Oh man, that was great. So yeah, I actually was able to go and watch, and I had like one of the best seats in the house. Thanks to Favor, I got in and everything. And dude, I thought the whole card as a whole was freaking great, except for the co-main event. Like, who would have guessed that would have happened?
Yeah.
But the main event, I honestly had DC. I mean, DC picked me number one, and I had a great relationship with him. So it's like, well, yeah, you had to pick DC, but unbiasedly, I thought that DC was going to win for a couple of reasons. Number one was that he was undefeated at heavyweight previously. Number two, Cain Velasquez was one of his main training partners, so it's not like he is a stranger to training with bigger guys. And then number three is just DC's mental attitude and just knowing the competitor he was. I mean, don't get me wrong, I thought it was going to be a tough fight. Like, I thought it was going to be a decision, to be honest, for DC. But, DC put him out for it was incredible, and I'm super happy for him.
Man, what about Rosendo pushing Brock Lesnar? Did you catch that?
Hell yeah, I caught that, dude. That don't surprise me. Rosendo's a firecracker, dude. Like, he don't care.
Yeah, we had him on, man, and he was like, I don't see this fight going the distance. There's a lot of people that are doubting DC's power, and I've seen a lot of improvements here. And a lot of people are debating whether DC's one of the best or one of the greatest all time at heavyweight. What do you think? Because this gets thrown around way too much. But, becoming a 2-division champion at heavyweight, knocking out Stipe the way he did, where does he place in, the top heavyweights?
Man, he's got to be placed right up there one of the best to me. I mean, I think he's 13 or 14-0 at heavyweight now, and just knocked out who was considered one of the best heavyweights of all time. And yeah, I think he's going to destroy Brock, man. I don't even think it'll be close.
Man, that's going to be so funny. Last but not least, we're seeing a lot of reactions to Brock Lesnar coming back to the UFC. What is your take here? Are you for it, against it? How do you feel about this?
I'm on the fence about it. I mean, I know why some people are against it. They're like, Curtis Blades is in line, and there's other people in line, and I get it. But at the end of the day, it's a business that makes money, and the money fight is Brock and DC. So as shitty as it is for people who actually deserve the shot, it's good for the business. Now, is it good long-term wise? As far as a pattern like that could be happening, I don't think so. But I don't know. I wish I could give a better answer other than I'm just totally on the fence about it.
So we have a question from Ann H at Chillzone95 for you. She says, ask Tyler, what does he think he needs to improve on to make his all-around fight IQ better? P.S. Eddie, for the morning vote, my opinion would be Brock should stay away from DC. But yeah, her question was, what do you think you need to improve on here?
There's a few things I need to improve on. Number one is I need to not try and kill people when I punch them. Like with Bryce, he ran a lot. There's a lot of shots that I was throwing pretty hard, but he was just a little bit out of range. And I need to be a little better at recognizing that he's out of range. I don't need to throw this punch right now, or I don't need to throw it quite as hard. So I need to be more boxer-esque, I guess. And then also, my takedown defense is super, super, super good. But you wouldn't have been able to tell in my fight against Bryce because I kept going to the guillotine and threatening with the guillotine, thinking that if I threatened with it, not only could I possibly get it, but he would stop trying to take me down. Well, he didn't. So I need to be more aware next time and know that, hey, just defend the takedown like you normally do and circle out and then reset. So those are the two things I would say is continue doing what I already do good and actually defend the takedowns. Don't go to the guillotine. And then number two would be more boxer-esque and just kind of flow with my punches a little bit more.
And also says she would love for you to give her a follow back at ChillZone95. And she also says, Eddie, ask him how it felt fighting Bryce. Since everyone liked Bryce, tell him, please, that was the best TUF semifinal matchup fight I've seen in a long time. He gave it his all, never gave up, not since TUF season 1. So it seems like you definitely, you stole a lot of females' hearts here.
That's awesome. No, I like it. That semifinal fight, I got a lot of love after that fight, but I also got a lot of haters being like, get a treadmill or this and that. And it pissed me off, man, because my cardio has never been an issue in any of my fights ever. But that fight, I got a little tired because I tried finishing in the first round. I really wanted to go out excitingly, and I wanted to finish the fight. I didn't want a boring decision. And then number two, he was battering my body, man. Like, he did a super good job at making my gas tank worse by just continually hitting my body. So as exciting as that fight was, I'm happy it was. Like, it sucked that I came up on the losing end, especially since I believe that 9 out of 10 times I beat Jay. But you know what? He rose to the occasion. He fought the best fight he possibly could have, and he beat me fair and square. And then, fighting Bryce, it wasn't hard or anything like that, even because he's my buddy or anything. It just, me and Bryce have the same mindset, and that's, we're friends now. We'll be friends after, but in the meantime, let's just take care of business, and whoever wins, we'll shake each other's hands. It doesn't matter. So we kind of have the same mindset on that. And I think it's kind of a blue collar mindset, if you will. And so it wasn't hard. It was awesome.
Listen, Tyler, before we let you go, how many followers did you have on Instagram before the season Ultimate Fighter started?
Man, honestly, I do not know. I don't really keep up with my followers on.
It's almost at 11,000 now, man. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. You should be able to get that verify mark at this point. But what was your biggest takeaway from this season Ultimate Fighter? This is the last question here.
My biggest takeaway from the Ultimate Fighter, man, it might be surprising, but just how I don't know if the biggest takeaway, because I'll tell you what, a lot of people ask, what's the toughest thing you've done, or what'd you learn? Like, I mean, I learned some cool things about myself, I guess, and that were just reconfirmed things, but it wasn't the hardest thing I've ever done. So I'll just kind of spin the question a little bit and just say the best thing about it was developing my relationship with DC. He's such an awesome guy. Like, I love that guy, man. And DC had a lot of faith in me, and he's just an awesome dude. Like, every once in a while we text and just see how each other are doing, and I just really enjoyed developing that relationship with such an awesome guy. And and I'll forever be grateful for my time there.
Yeah, this was an amazing season, Ultimate Fighter. Tyler, I thank you so much for coming on. We have to have you on before your next fight inside that octagon, man, because, there's a lot of potential there with a lot of the guys from this season. I'm really excited about, how you guys ended up and the reactions that the crowd was getting. Even the ratings were up from the last couple of seasons this season. So those are some big things that you guys did. And I want to congratulate you on everything that you've accomplished this season. And last but not least, this is where we give you the floor. If you have any sponsors, any shout outs, anything at all, the floor is all yours.
Man, I'm always unprepared for this part. But as far as sponsors, man, like, I mean, I've only got one person who's really been in my corner since the beginning, and that's Lana's Egg Whites. She's the coolest lady ever, and she hooks me up with egg whites whenever I want. As far as monetary, I haven't really had any sponsors as of late at all, but you know, that's fine. I got some of the best supporters in the world in Oroville, California, and across the country and other places as well. Like, I have such an awesome following, and I greatly appreciate every single person who's gave me well wishes or positive thoughts for me and just wanted me to do well in my career, and has done, you know, anything as far as, you know, bought a shirt, bought a hat, you know, followed me on social media, or just did whatever, you know, in order to help support me and my dream. And, you know, just like I said, everyone that's wished me well along it. So thank you to everyone, Oroville, California, and just everyone who has supported me along the way.
Tyler, thank you so much. People in the chat room are like, I'd sponsor him. So, Tyler, thank you so much, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, and God bless.
Absolutely. God bless, brother. Thank you.
There you guys go. Tyler Diamond. Also calling in next, we got the Ultimate Fighter Season 27 winner, Mike the Lone Wolf Trizano. He fought at lightweight, beat Joe Giannetti in the co-main event of Ultimate Fighter Season 27 finale, headlined by Israel Adesanya versus Brad Tavares. Now, I gave my reaction video to that. You guys can check that down below. But one thing I didn't give a reaction for was UFC 226. And you guys might be wondering why I did not do my recap show. Well, first off, I was trying to set this show up, trying to get some guys that fought. And another thing, I kind of wanted to sit back, enjoy this card. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings. Let me throw that out there to enjoy this pay-per-view. And it was interesting seeing crowds' reactions and talking with people next to me to see what they know about the sport. And a lot of them, man, I mean, I made a lot of money off of the people that were around me, man. I had Derek Lewis winning in the co-main event. People thought I was crazy. I had DC winning by knockout in the main event. Won some nice money there. Won some money. Won $50 on DraftKings by putting $5 down with my lineup. You had Mike Perry versus Paul Felder. What a brutal fight that was. Definitely worth $50K. Let me actually look at the card really quick, because there were so many fights that were on this card to pick from. Let's see here. Where is the fight card? And you know what? That main event, that was really something else. Brock Lesnar getting called in there, and I see everyone's reactions here flipping out about Brock Lesnar coming back to the UFC. Not for it. People are like, you know, this is bullshit at this point. But come on. This year, name one main event, one pay-per-view card that has really stood out, that has made over 1 million buys, that has got people outside of the diehards to start talking. You know, the CM Punk fight did not live up to the expectations that the UFC was hoping for. That pay-per-view bombed. But CM Punk is no Brock Lesnar. And this is a very interesting matchup. DC versus Brock Lesnar. Wow, man. Because it's weird, because DC said that he wants to retire. And there are people out there like, this is bullshit. But you got to understand, DC, he says he wants to retire, and he needs a big money fight. He needs something to really put him on the map. This is something that John Bones Jones should have got. This is a fight that John called out when he beat DC. And you know what's crazy? Seeing where DC was from the fight that he had in versus John in that rematch, to the big turnaround of, you know, John popping, DC getting his belt back, going back in there, fighting Volkan Oezdemir in the co-main event, winning that under Stipe versus who did Stipe recently fight and win? Francis Ngannou. And there's a lot of people out there that are like wondering, you know, is DC the greatest of all time? If Stipe won, would that make him the greatest of all time? And I was talking about this before. I'm a little tired of hearing greatest of all time, greatest of all time. One of the best ever. One of the best in the weight division. I'm interested to see DC. I want to see DC stay at heavyweight, honestly. It's a little sad that he's going to be retiring. I know that he's, you know, almost 40 years old. But, man, just the turnaround that he's had between the John Bones fight till now is just remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. I think DC's really fallen into his own. He's gotten comfortable in front of the camera. And to see him knock out Stipe the way he did, I mean, I put my reaction up here on the YouTube channel, but also on my Instagram at pureevilmma_. And to see the people around me at Buffalo Wild Wings reacting to DC knocking out Stipe was really something else. I think I got the one of the clips here for you guys. I'm gonna play that for you because it was really funny. And whoever posted this picture, Brock Lesnar versus Rosendo Sanchez, is God. They're God for the day. But here's the reaction from Buffalo Wild Wings this weekend. And first off, if you have not seen Rosendo push Brock Lesnar, here, let me show you the clip really quick. Now, if you can see Rosendo, he's about 5'4", 5'5". Brock Lesnar, what, 6 foot? He looks triple the size, though. A lot of balls on Rosendo, man. A lot of people don't understand. And if you guys want to go back and watch the interview that I had with Rosendo Sanchez right before the fight and hear how he kind of, he didn't say how the fight was going to go, but you could hear in his voice, like, people are doubting DC's power. And I think it's not going to go the distance. It was really interesting to look back on some of the things that he was saying. And also a big shout out to Echo. Did anybody hear Echo's song for UFC 226? I am a little upset because, obviously Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega got pulled off this card. That was the perfect co-main event for this fight. Unfortunately, Max Holloway suffered a concussion, and they pulled him off the card. And I'm really happy they did that. I don't want to see anybody risk their title that they've worked their entire life for. This is the moment where you need to be super careful about every risk you make. You can lose the belt. Look at the risk that Frankie Edgar made, all the hard work and dedication, and then he's right there to get the title shot again. Loses it to Brian Ortega because he takes the fight on short notice. If you look, and I don't know the average, but if you look at, at least recently, a lot of these fighters that take short notice fights, they are not winning. So I think this was a smart idea, and I'm glad somebody noticed it. I'm happy, but I'm a little frustrated because DC, Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou, we've been waiting for that fight to happen for so long. We've been talking about it, and if you guys want to go back and listen to, it would be hard to find, but I've spoken on it a few times in the past couple of years about wanting this fight to happen, but waiting for them to kind of climb the ladder a little bit because I wanted their star power to build. Now, Francis Ngannou got a shot after that Overeem knockout. UFC really started putting money behind him, really hyping him up. Probably wanted him to beat Stipe by the ways that sounded of him, the way they're hyping him up, saying, it hits with this much horsepower, and the guy has the strongest punch in the world, blah, blah, blah. And then Francis struggles here, and you hear Dana bashing him. But it's like, Dana, you were just there hyping him up. And then you kind of fed into his ego. And now you're complaining that people are complaining about his ego. It's a little hard when people are telling you that you're one of the scariest men on the planet. You're one of the strongest men on the planet. A guy that came from the coal mines to the big stage of UFC. He's getting all this attention now. And he's knocking out legends like Alistair Overeem. You're feeding an ego there. And it did seem like he was really gun-shy here against Derek Lewis. I think Derek Lewis is getting I think he deserves a little more respect here. I think Derek Lewis did not do that bad of a job, especially, he's thrown, not the excuse, but the fact that, his back was bothering him there. I think he surprised a lot of people with throwing as many leg kicks as he did, but this was one of the least strikes thrown in heavyweight history. Second round, I think there was 10 strikes thrown total. The reaction from people around me was just like, they were just getting bored. People were like, this is a 9-9 round. The crowd was doing a wave and booing, and it was a little weird. And this is the issue. When you look back at cards, usually if the co-main event and the main event don't end in a finish or they're not that exciting, it's hard to look back and remember. So, the takeaway is DC becoming the 2-weight division champion. Who did it better, Conor McGregor or DC? So that's a tricky question because if you look at it on paper, I think DC's done a lot more, has had the harder battle. It's two completely different weight divisions. Heavyweight, it's really hard for a heavyweight to go on a win streak. To be undefeated at heavyweight, what is he, 13-0 at heavyweight, to go down to, light heavyweight and do what he did there, spin Alexander Gustafsson on his finger. he's beat some of the top-notch guys. There is the bash of people saying, he's fought guys that are on the downside of his career. Bullshit. DC's been doing it for a long time. He's been doubted for a long time, and he's proven himself over and over again. The one person that he's ever struggled with was John Bones Jones at light heavyweight. So to see him kind of escape that and go to heavyweight and have a little separation space in between the John Jones thing. And you always heard people saying, he's the paper champion. There is no denying that that DC is now the champ. There's no denying it. And yeah, you could be like, all right, yeah, he's going to fight Brock by, I don't think it's going to happen by December, honestly. I think that this fight might be around January or February because it's a little weird. And DC, like I said, says he wants to retire in April, I believe, of next year. That trilogy fight with John Bones Jones, I really hope that happens. I really do. And what's up with Kane? What is Kane going to do now? I mean, obviously he's not going to get the title match with DC. He's not going to get the returning match. But what about Kane versus DC? Or who would you guys like Kane to return and fight? Rosendo, we tried to get him to say when Kane's going to return. He didn't want any part of that. But he did say, expect something soon. Really soon. So who do you guys think that Kane should return and fight? That's a really interesting question there, because the fight that he had against Travis Brown, he looked phenomenal in there. He looked absolutely phenomenal. And another guy you guys can bash. So, well, Travis Brown's on the decline of his career. Let's see you go in there and beat up Travis Brown. It's not as easy as you guys think it is. It's crazy when I hear this shit. But the UFC 226 song by Echo, let me rep that shit for him.
Live your whole life for a moment. Let go of everything. You don't see anything else until you get to hold it. End of the road and nobody knows. The one in the mirror's your biggest opponent. About to explode, but you are a soldier. Holding it steady, you keep a composure. Yeah, like this how we live. Passion and heart is expressed with a fist. Every hit has just brought us to this. Las Vegas UFC 226. Get the replay. Heavyweight club in here, Stipe. Watching the fate of a giant. This is Goliath versus Goliath. Yeah. Hoping for shakeups. Energy feeling contagious. Warrior blood in the veins. And now it's the Holloway versus Ortega. Yeah. Relentless. Sacrifice fun in the friendships. Do it for love, not attention. Hoping it pays in the ending. Right? Bloody up the knuckles trying to breathe to the bell. Only with victory going, leaving here tonight. Presence again, with every Lewis, give him hell. Ain't no way to tell tonight, ayy. I know that we've been popping off, and it don't really matter with anybody but talking on. It's only you and them and Eagle stepping in the octagon, and you ain't gonna stop until you drop a motherfucking never fall. Crazy, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean, look, chills. Every time I listen to that song, I get straight chills. I love that. How does that not hype you up? Why didn't the UFC get more behind that song, man? Oh my God. You get fired up listening to something like that. Man. And if we only got to see what's going on here. Check. And if we only got to see Holloway versus Ortega, then that might be coming around the corner. But let's talk a little bit about some of the other fights that went down this weekend at UFC 226, because there were a lot of standout. What about Khalil Roundtree beating Gokhan Saki, moving Gokhan Saki to 1-2 in MMA? Khalil Roundtree was at a very tough spot in his career. I mean, he's beat some tough opponents, and I really enjoyed this matchup. This was the matchup that was supposed to happen months ago. It fell through. Khalil Roundtree at the end of his ropes here. If he did not win this fight, he probably would have got that pink slip. Here's why I like this fight, because I knew that Khalil Roundtree is a guy that just wants to stand and bang. He wants to trade, and he was not afraid to trade with Gokhan, and that fires me up, man. I'm excited to see what's going to be next for Khalil Roundtree. If you see what was the guy's name that he beat in the first round last year? Was it Jolly? I think. Then the UFC let Jolly go. Right? I believe so. But Khalil Roundtree, man, how many people doubted him this weekend? Also, let's talk a little bit about Mike Perry versus Paul Felder. Felt a little bad for Paul Felder because he's gotten pulled out of his last couple of fights. His opponent's Ally Quinta. Ally Quinta getting pulled out. Another matchup getting pulled out. Very frustrating for him. Sorry about that. But Mike Perry, man, I did not pick him. I picked Paul Felder. And the reason being, well, let me say this. Mike Perry definitely cleared his name here. I think he's ready for the top 10 after that performance. I was a little worried because if you look back to where he was about a year and a half ago when he fought, maybe 2 years ago, when he fought Alan Jouban, he got the opportunity to take a step up to the top 15. Alan Jouban just showed him that, it's thrown around all the time. There's levels to this thing, but there's just very a better fight. No, stop. Yeah. I'm doing a show. Please don't come down here. I'm doing a show. Please don't come down. I don't know. I'm live. Sorry about that, guys. Very unprofessional, I know. Some people just don't have respect at all. At all. Man, that shit pisses me off more than anything. Let's check in with the chat room. Henry Ford checking in. Belvin Flip Mom checking in. What's going on, Belvin? L.A. Quinta seems like he's not all in. L.A. Quinta versus Justin Gaethje, that recently fell through. That's a fight I would love to see. Henry Ford, Paul Felder should have polished that ass. He thinks that Paul Felder may have been overestimated after a few Perry level wins. L.A. Quinta's a bum. Henry Ford, let me answer that question about Paul Felder, man. I've heard a lot of people saying that he was probably underestimating Mike Perry in this fight, but man, he gave it his all. And I don't know what's going on because his last couple of fights, he's gotten cut in the same spot, I believe. If you go back to the Trinaldo fight, he got that cut. The doctor had to stop it. I was real worried that the doctor was going to stop this fight, and we all know what happened there. Mike Perry definitely proven himself, clearing his name here, and I definitely think he's ready for that top 10 spot here. Who should he fight next? This is a very exciting weight division. I love seeing when guys, Mike Perry puts on very entertaining fights. This is a guy that knows what he's doing inside the cage and outside. Did you guys see his hype videos going into this? The guy gets you fired up. I love that. I think that he's finally training with Duke Rufus. Now that's a huge move for him. A guy from South Florida moving with Duke and that team over there, doing wonders for him. And I'm really excited to see what's next for Mike Perry because there were a lot of people out there writing him off. Yeah, he gets a little crazy. He says some crazy stuff. This whole 2% thing, it's driving a lot of attention. There's people even comparing him to Colby Covington now. That's kind of like the role that he's getting into, but more natural for Mike Perry, I think. I think Mike Perry's actually like that, where Colby Covington kind of took on the persona where, yeah, he was kind of always like a preppy jock dick dude. And I've interviewed Colby before in the past 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago now. And, people think this came overnight for Colby Covington. Colby's been doing this for a while. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that Mike Perry, he's literally insane. He literally seems like he's insane. Like if you chill with him, he's going to make an insane cake. You know what I mean? Not literally an insane cake, but the energy around you is just going to become ghoulish, I guess. I guess that's a word for it. He's just, you can't, you don't know what he's going to say next. You don't know. He's unpredictable. Mike Perry is unpredictable, and he puts on inside the octagon. The elbows that he was landing, he just looked on point this weekend. He looked phenomenal against a high-level guy like Paul Felder, too. Very impressive. This is not a can. Paul Felder has fought some of the toughest guys in the division. Let's see what you guys got going on in the chat room. Felder and Perry are both journeymen, says Belvin Flipmunk. They could be Bellator champs, but the upper echelon of the UFC is probably out their reach. Exciting and fan-friendly, but no doubt. That's interesting that you say that. It's hard to see. There are a lot of people that are saying that about Cody Noloff, that, he's a great fighter, he's a knockout guy, but he's not going to beat Dominic Cruz. There's no way. He's not that echelon level. I think I was even saying that. As big of a fan as I was of Cody Nolov. I mean, 4-fight, boom, title shot or UFC contract. Was it too soon? Is this too soon? Israel Adesanya, is this too soon versus Brad Tavares? Is he a championship level? Max Holloway, people were saying that for Max Holloway for years. The guy had to go on, what, 11-fight win streak before they would give him a shot at the top. Oscar, stop. You know, you go to new studio and you're still getting bothered. You got all this space down there. Oh, really quick, guys, guess what I recently just got today? Where did I put it? Got myself a GoPro. So this is going to be the last stream using this camera, and get ready for an upgrade here. We also got the studio lights down here in the back. As you can see, I'm blue in the front. We got nice lighting in the back. That is because we got studio lights now. If I can find them. Down there on the ground. Studio lights. PA. Hooked up here. Which reminds me, guys, new merch campaign is out at teespring.com/pureevilmma swag, where you guys can get mugs for $11. You guys can get stickers for $4 or $3.99, t-shirts for $20, sweaters, anything you want, and it's all affordable. teespring.com/pureevilmma merch. Become part of the Pure Evil MMA street team. Represent from whatever part of the planet you're at. There's a lot of people out there representing the old. And we bringing it back. Again, another campaign. And I really like the design that I did. I went again with this similar design that was made by Minion McGrunion. But on the other side, instead of this, like the last campaign, we got something new going on. So you guys can hop over there, check it out. It would be a huge help to even buying a sticker. That would be a huge help just to support, represent, become part of the Pure Evil MMA street team out there and put on for us, man. I mean, we are the future of MMA media here. Between me, the MMA hosts, Nolan King, Kobe if he comes back. I mean, this is the new generation. You could have a chance to be like, I was there from the beginning. I was there since day one. And a lot of people here in the chat room actually were here since day one, about 4 years ago, starting. Which is totally awesome. All right, so moving forward here, guys, what other fight do you want to talk about before getting to our next guest who's going to be calling in any second here, actually? We got Mike, the Lone Wolf Trizano, who's going to be calling in, who trains out of Tiger Stolman's, alongside Jimmy Rivera. Let me give him a text really quick. All right, so yeah, we're about 20 minutes out. He says 3:20, 3:30. He'll be calling in, and currently it is 3 o'clock here on the East Coast. Dan Hooker versus Gilbert Burns. What about Dan Hooker, man, putting on a great performance, going there doing his thing? I mean, this card was absolutely phenomenal. All right, let's see what call in and sing. Is Tyler Diamond coming on? King Kobe says. Tyler Diamond came on earlier. We just got off the line with him. You can rewind this, go back and listen to it. Really good interview. We talked for about a half hour to start the show off. But Mike Trizano, the winner of lightweight for TUF 27, he's going to be calling in just a couple of minutes here to end the show off. But guys, there were so many other fights on this card. Let's talk a little bit about Israel Adesanya versus Brad Tavares. If you did not check out my TUF 27 reaction video, here's my take on it. Even I was saying that this was probably too soon, but I was really interested to see how Israel was going to handle Brad Tavares' wrestling. Brad Tavares was not using his wrestling. He was kickboxing with a champion kickboxer. I did not understand that at all. I don't know what's going on with Brad. And I've said this multiple times. Back in 2013, 14, 2012, Brad Tavares was fighting some of the best guys inside the UFC. In the last few years, yeah, he was just recently on a 4-fight win streak. Looked phenomenal. I was ready for him to take that next step up once again. But, since 2014, he was fighting, the top 10 guys. Then he started fighting the top 15, outside the top 15 to get the win streak back, build it back up. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you guys have to realize that, they have to take a step back, relearn a couple of things, clean up a couple of areas before they can get that shot and, polish themselves to be top 10, top 5. Brad Tavares, man, definitely a top 10 guy, top 15 guy. Israel Adesanya going in there, doing his thing, earning his spot at the top 15. A lot of people were worried, saying this is too soon. This is too soon for him. You gotta remember the guy's 29 years old. There's a lot of people out there saying he does not have power, but man, he breaks the body down. His fight style is entertaining to watch. There's no love lost for Israel Adesanya here. If he lost, then, because we've seen this a lot, like Lando Veneta is a good explanation. He gets a couple of nice wins. He pieces up Tony Ferguson, whatever. That spin kick knockout. Then everyone's like, oh man, we cannot wait for his next fight. Then boom, give him a well-rounded Muay Thai guy. Like, what the fuck was his name? Him and his brother. He was on TUF 22. Telling Cody No Love that his underwear stank. What was that guy's name? Oh man, I'm drawing a blank here. Someone in the chat room remind me who I'm talking about. Lando Veneta lost against. Why am I drawing a blank? Yeah, my point being, though, when you get that hype getting build up, it can be taken away real quick. Real quick. It can go from 100 to 0 real quick. It can go from 0 to 100 real quick. It could also go from 100 to 0 real quick in the sport, unfortunately. King Club. All right, so the chat room's blowing up. Let's see, before I miss out. Brad Tavares lost because of his political views, says Henry Ford. Belvin taking a laugh at that. He thought his words would hurt Adesanya. King Kobe, spinning shit isn't consistent, especially at the top 15 level. Listen, you can get away with that shit outside of the top 15. LFA, Titan FC, CES. It's really hard to do that. Top 5, top 10, top 15. Tavares, Belvin Flipmunk. Tavares always wants to rep as a striker, but he's so well-rounded. So many guys lose due to fight IQ, not lack of tools. Henry Ford, it is when it's done right. King Kobe, where'd you get that sign, Eddie? So if you're talking about the cinema, or you're talking about the on-air, actually, a matter of fact, I just got lights, LED lights to put behind the sign here. And this is new. This is all new to the studio. We are still building here. This is a new studio. We've only been here in this space for a month now. Not even a month. I don't even have furniture down here yet. I got a little TV. I've been sleeping on the floor. I don't even have a bed here yet. But I got 40 in the studio every night, late night, like Drake says. You know, living in the studio, living my dream. One thing, I cannot stand roommates. I cannot stand. It's just annoying. That shit's annoying. But yeah, I got the sign from Hobby Lobby. Actually, it did not say Pure Evil MMA on it. I actually, that's custom. But I'm putting LED lights around it. I'm going to be getting a new backdrop here. I just ordered a green screen. Really excited about that. But do you guys like this? I actually kind of really do enjoy this. But I feel like there's something missing from the set here. And if you guys can purchase, some street gear, some T-shirts, it would help me get some more props here. Like I said, I just got a new GoPro. We got the new mic. We got a bunch of new shit. New computer desk. And things are looking up for Pure Evil MMA. So, yeah, that's where I got the sign, Hobby Lobby. Henry Ford, you need at least 6 months practice dancing to Man-Eater. Henry Ford, whoa, here she comes, watch out. Come on, you know the lyrics. Call in and sing it, King Kobe. Watch out, here she comes. Whoa, here she comes. The fuck, what are you guys talking about? The fuck are you guys talking about in the chat room? If you are listening to the podcast right now and you are not here to enjoy or to ask questions on the live chat, I have to apologize. There's some crazy people here, but if you are listening to the podcast, you can always hop over, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and it will notify you if you press the bell. Every time I go live, for some reason, YouTube does not like telling the subscribers that I'm live. You literally have to subscribe and then press the bell button to be notified when I go live. So it's really simple. Just go to youtube.com/PureEvilMMA, press subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll be notified as soon as I go live. And we've been doing a lot more live streams lately. In the past couple of weeks, you guys are enjoying it, so there ain't no reason for me not to get it done here. Also, James McSweeney and I just started a new podcast. You guys can subscribe to that as well. We're going to be doing that every 2 weeks. And the winner, whoever is going to name the show, we're looking for some names. They're going to win an autographed shirt from James and I. I mean, my signature don't mean shit unless you're a fan of Pure Evil MMA. His signature, I mean, we're about to have Zul Afrin. So James was just in a movie, kind of like the Kickboxer he played. He actually played himself in the movie. It's going to be released. It's with Jason Statham of Thailand, Zul Afrin. And we're going to get him on the show. The guy's got like 2.1 million followers on Instagram, one of the biggest stars over there. And we're going to be having him on the podcast soon. We're going to be trying to get Rashad Evans on. We have a lot of stuff that me and James are going to be planning on. Big things coming. That's where Pure Evil MMA's focus is going to start going into. Pure Evil MMA will never go anywhere. Ever. Never, ever, ever, ever. I mean, I'm only going to be doing the show once every 2 weeks with James. But that is going to be the mothership. If you know what I mean. Like, that is going to be opening up a lot of doors for my future. It's giving James a great platform to have somebody that's, you know, me. I don't want to toot my own horn. But there's a reason why James picked me and not, you know, someone else out there. And it's blessed. I mean, he could have picked anyone else. There are so many guys out there that are just as passionate as I am about the sport, that wake up thirsty to just dive into MMA news and pick apart the headlines. James brings a great view from a fighter standpoint, and I'm giving my view from the media standpoint. I swear to God, if somebody comes downstairs again right now, I'm going to flip. Doing a live show. Don't come downstairs. Very simple. I'm going to have to move again. I cannot stand living with roommates. Not stand it. Living with family, living with roommates is no bueno. No bueno at all. All right, let's move forward really quick. If I do have to say this, the whole Brock Lesnar thing. Somebody tweeted me. Let me actually pull the tweet up. Somebody was tweeting me about this. Let me find the tweet. You know, kind of saying that they're really upset about Brock Lesnar. All right, here we go. All right, so shout out to the Maximum Power. He's been a listener here, an elite MMA tweeter out there. Make sure to give him a follow. He's always talking and engaging with people about some of the best topics that are going around. So Maximum Power tweeted this out. He says, "Why do people think UFC?" Or no. Before that even said. All right, this is good. So the first tweet goes, "If Kim Kardashian wanted to fight in UFC, she deserved an immediate title shot because she'd break all pay-per-view records. And that's all that matters in mixed martial arts anymore. It equals more pay-per-view numbers." Then he goes, "Nunes versus Kardashian," and no. And I love that. That was a genius tweet. But I had to respond to that because, you know, as frustrating as it is, you know, seeing somebody like CM Punk come over. Brock Lesnar, though, like, the guy's a fucking specimen. Who wouldn't want to see what he can do inside the cage? And he's proved himself. He's beat Mark Hunt. He's beat he's beat Frank Mir in the rematch. He's won the UFC title. I think all right, so I responded, I said, "Would you rather sports slowly die off or continue with these kind of fights? It will help in the long run. I'm not for it, but at least understand it. If you don't like that single fight, there's usually 11 more that you can enjoy." And my point being, I mean, yeah, CM Punk, yeah, he's on the pay-per-view card. If you don't want to watch the fight, don't watch it. But it's going to help our sport because you're bringing more fresh, young eyes, WWE fans, 11, 12-year-old kids, 14-year-old, 50-year-old kids. You know what I mean? It's going to bring sport interest over. What can this guy do in an actual fight? Obviously, it didn't pay off for CM Punk. CM Punk is not Brock Lesnar. There's a big difference there. Huge difference. Especially heavyweight. And Brock cut the perfect promo, man. People were always saying and bashing what he had to say in there. But that's how it's done. That's how you get people excited. You don't just go in there and say whatever. You need to say something that's going to get people behind you. Call someone out. Make a statement. Brock knows what he's doing in there, and that shit works. You know, you need to go in there, you need to put on a great performance, but you also need to be an entertainer at this point in MMA. And it definitely rubs people the wrong way that have been watching since day one or have come along the sport before this has been going on forever. This has been going on for a long time. Going back to TUF 10, they brought over Kimbo Slice. This is nothing new. And now with WME owning the UFC, and you have people like Conan O'Brien, you have Ben Affleck, all these guys that are in the entertainment business, you're going to see more of this shit coming. And it's going to propel our sport, in my opinion. You're probably not going to see the best fight. I mean, I think Brock's going to put on a good fight, but if they bring somebody like Kim Kardashian over or CM Punk or whoever they bring over in the future, you're not going to see the best performances. But at the same time, you're going to get people to get interested. Look at Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series with Hardy. He was actually going to be fighting on the Contender Series again, which I'm not for. But then Maximum Power responded. He said, come on, Eddie. You know mixed martial arts would never die. I'm just saying that it's unfortunate that UFC isn't making the fights themselves the core attraction. That's what this was all about, fighting. And you know what? Yeah, and you see guys like Israel Astana. You see guys like even, you know, Sugar Shane O'Malley, Justin Gaethje. There's a lot of guys out there that we can talk about right now that, you know, you put the UFC machine behind, but you also have to do the legwork there. You can go in there and put on a great performance, but there has to be an entertaining factor after. So, and I might get a lot of backlash for this, but with where our sport is, with the pay-per-view buys, our sport needs it, especially this year. There hasn't been a big card yet this year. All right, let me check in the chat room because I see you guys going sick. All right, MMA Wizard checking in. Brock is a beast, but no stand-up game. I think DC wipes the floor with him. I agree. I think DC would. Oh, there goes my oil pen. I think DC will win that fight. We've seen that Brock does not like to get hit. He will try to get DC down, but there's a meme going around of the classic meme of, you know, the couple laying in the bed, the girl laying turned the other way going, he must be seeing someone else. Who's he thinking about? And then the guy is on the other side. And this is like some real shit because I've been in that scene. The guy's sitting there and he goes, if Brock couldn't take Kane down, how is he going to take DC down? And it's true. I think DC is going to do great in that fight. I would rather see John Bones versus Brock. And I made a poll. I've been doing morning polls on the Twitter page. If you're not following me on Twitter yet, make sure you're on that at evil_echo. That's EVIL_ECCO. Every morning I'm putting out a poll every single day to get a take on some of the hot topics going around right now in MMA. And that was one of the questions. Who would you guys rather see fight Brock? Would you rather see Stipe, DC, or John Bones? I believe DC took the cake. John Bones, not too far. Barely anybody voted for Stipe. But you know damn well if Stipe won that fight, they had Brock ringside. They had Brock cage side. They were all aware of that. That was the direction. I'm sure Dana told them that they needed to head in. You know, cut that promo. DC did a great job. But my point being, if Stipe won that fight, he was going to call out Brock. That was the direction that they were going to head into. And I'm interested to see what's going to happen in the fight. Remember how many people thought that Mark Hunt was going to be Brock? You know, Mark Hunt's one fucking powerful striker, man. And I said the same thing in that fight. I said, you know what? Brock does not like to get hit. I actually picked Brock to win the fight. There's so many people out there that bash Brock. I think he's a legit fighter, man. I think that people think that just because he's from the WWE, he's an actor, not a real fighter. But he's proved himself. He's done this the right way. He didn't just jump into the UFC. He went over to Japan. He did this thing the right way. Making the return for UFC 200, fighting Mark Hunt, winning that fight. He's doing this the right way. Now you're going to have him fight for the title once again. His promo that he cut, like, it made me chuckle because, like, I kind of saw his point of view here. And you could say it's bullshit, it's scripted, but there's some truth behind it. Let me see if I can get his promo, what he said here. All right, so Brock Lesnar calls out DC, UFC 226. Let's see if I can find, not UFC 236. UFC 226. All right, guys, and just a reminder, in 15 minutes, we got Mike, the Lone Wolf Trizano calling in. All right, here it is.
Get your ass in here! Let me tell you something. I walked into this building and watched the heavyweight disasters from the beginning. McDonald's a piece of Miucci's a piece of DC, I'm coming for you.
That is how it's done. How could you dash that? How could you? How? How does that not fucking fire you up? That is how it's done. Take a lesson from Brock Lesnar. All right, you guys don't like seeing WWF guys doing this. We need UFC guys to start doing this. There is some truth behind what he said there. Look at the UFC heavyweight division for the past 20 years. It's been pretty rough. Guys have not been able to defend the title more than twice. Stipe defended the title twice and made history. Brock Lesnar, man, that is how it's done. Rag on him all you want. Okay, chat room. Dude got that much muscle. His eyes barely open, says Henry Ford. King Kobe, DC won't make 205 again. Henry Ford, Volkov versus DC would be like Ozdemir versus DC. No doubt Brock is the real deal, says MMA Wizard. Henry Ford, he's like a huge hung man Choi, indestructible. King Kobe, Volkov is way better jiu-jitsu. Like Henry Ford, jiu-jitsu doesn't work on people that are Brock's size. MMA Wizard, Brock would break Volkov. I agree. Henry Ford, WWE sell bullshit. UFC can't sell real shit. Listen to Brock. And listen, everyone's like, oh, these guys are actors. I understand that, but Brock also gets a hard time for going too hard inside the WWE. And I don't watch the WWE at all. But Brock Lesnar intrigues me. Like I need to watch that fight. There's no way I can steer away. I understand why people are upset, but if there's anything that you can take away from what I'm saying here, just understand why this happened and why the UFC is heading in this direction, and that it's not a bad thing. Why are you all freaking out about this? If you don't want to watch that fight, there will be 11 more on there that you can enjoy. This is the last thing I'll say about this whole Brock thing. All right, so in 10 minutes, we are 10 minutes out from Mike the Lone Wolf Trizano. Let's see what else is going on. Shout out to Showtime Pettis as well. Forgot about Showtime, man. Looking great against Michael Chize. And Michael Chize saying, don't make fun of me for calling him. I've been calling him Michael Chize forever. Listen, he had a rough weight cut. I wouldn't mind them opening up the 165-pound division. I've been kind of sitting and bouncing around with this thought in my head for a while now. I think that's the direction that they should go. And with, Khabib as the champion right now, with Conor McGregor having the rumors against Khabib, I think it would be a great idea to open up 165-pound division, have a Conor versus GSP fight, Conor versus fucking anyone, really. I would love the 165-pound division. There are people saying that, opening up more to weight divisions, the same shit's going to happen. People are going to, try to make the lowest weight. People from a weight class above are going to try to drop down and, the whole story. But I think it will help promote. We won't see as many of these stupid interim fights. 165 makes a little more sense than some of the other weight divisions that you can match up, like 145 female division, which we got 2 girls in. I'd rather have them have opened up a 165 male division than a 145 female division. Yeah, we have Chris Cyborg. She owed her due, but they're not doing anything with it now. It's just the weight division is literally sitting there just rotting away, getting no love. Oh, P.S. By the way, guys, breaking news today. So as you guys know, we do UFC pick'ems. We did $25 gift certificate giveaway for this week. Shout out to Laura Lies for winning the $25 gift card. There's some sad news behind all this. If you were part of UFC.com, UFC Pick'em, you probably got an email this morning saying that they're going to be stopping UFC Pick'em. And I was disgusted with what I saw here. So to be exact, the UFC Pick'em game alert says there is a new alert in UFC Pick'em. Dear fans, after 5 years, UFC Pick'em will be ending its run after UFC 227 on August 4th, 2000. Says 18, not 19, which is weird. I wonder if this is even real. This might be a fan that posted this one. And it seems like it. It's come to our attention that we are not making any money off of you this way. So any enjoyment you have derived is immaterial. Don't forget to visit the Ultimate Fighter Championship store to purchase all your officially licensed UFC merchandise. I don't know if that's the actual one. Hold on. And Misty B is the one that tweeted that one out. But yeah, this is not a fake. This is not a rumor. This is actually real. Here's the real message. All right. Wait, what? Is this one fake too? Wait, it is 2018. Why did I think it was 2019? Oh my God. All right, so another game alert from, I got this one sent to me from Matt. Let me give you his tag. At MMA_metalhead69 tweeted me this earlier on today at 1:18. Said, UFC Pick'em, emailed him this game alert. This is a new alert in UFC Pick'em. Dear fans, after 5 years, UFC Pick'em will be ending its run after UFC 227 on August 4th. You will still be able to see your scores for the following week. Thank you to the many thousands who play week in and week out. We appreciate your skill and dedication. What the fuck? What the fuck, UFC? Why would you get rid of an application that gets fans to engage with the fighters, to engage with other MMA fans, to have free pick'ems, and it's a lot of fun. Like, hold on, let me grab my pick'em board. Like here in the studio, I have the Pure Evil MMA official UFC pick'em ranks here. We're doing giveaways and all that. This fucks everything up. This fucks everything up. There still is Tapology. There still is Verdict MMA. But this is just, like, why? This is helping our sport. This is getting people to engage. This is not hurting our sport whatsoever. What maintenance do you have to do? There are so many passionate people out there that would love to go out to the UFC official headquarters and run this application. How hard could it be to run this application? Why is this being shut down? It's because people aren't spending money on it. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. You're selling the company for $4 billion. We're moving to ESPN. They're just greedy. And this is a big issue with me. The pay-per-view model, every 2 weeks you have to spend $70. It's a mess right now. If the MLB, if the NFL, if you could not watch the Super Bowl, if you had to pay $70 every year to watch Super Bowl, you probably wouldn't watch, let alone every 2 weeks. The reason why MLB, NFL, NHL is popular, it's free. I mean, you have to buy cable, obviously, but it's free content. Tom Brady became a big star because people were able to watch. They didn't have to pay money. If you have somebody that's never watched MMA or UFC, it's going to take a lot for them to want to purchase a pay-per-view. And if you're giving them free cards on FS1 that aren't that enticing, and you're only able to see the elite UFC fighters on pay-per-view cards, you're not giving our sport what it needs. And now you're shutting down UFC Pick'em. This whole moving to ESPN deal, which really isn't moving to ESPN, it's moving to ESPN Plus and charging fans there on top of UFC Fight Pass. Like, this is annoying. I have a lot of friends out there that literally don't watch UFC anymore because they think The judging's fucked. They think that the pay-per-view model is just ridiculous and expensive. There are all these issues and it just, at this point, it does not make sense. I do like that we're going to ESPN. I think that's a good platform, but it's ESPN Plus is what it is. It's not even ESPN. We're gonna have to wait and see how it works out. But off the top, man, who's gonna want to purchase to watch? It's just frustrating. Same with Bellator. We complain that Bellator does these fight cards that aren't aired live. Doesn't mean that we want to pay to watch them live. It means you need to figure your shit out to get that shit on TV for free live. Not, oh, we'll sign with Danzon and charge fans $10 a month on top of their UFC package and on top of the pay-per-view package and on top of this is not good. This is not good. I'm not gonna buy the fucking Bellator Dazn. Bellator needs to build their product. They need to get under the UFC and be like, we have a better product here. It's free. This is taking a step forward and 3 steps back in my book. Bellator is doing a great job building their roster. Now I feel like we're going to take a couple of steps back. They have fixed the issue of the live thing, but Bellator should be free. We shouldn't have to pay for that. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. What are you guys saying in the chat room? MMA Wizard, yeah, that sucks. Love UFC Pick'em. It's sad, man. Shutting down that platform makes no sense. Henry Ford, CP Power, Henry Ford. Could ESPN be thinking of making it part of the app or something? That's what I hear they're doing. It's going to be on the ESPN Plus app, which for me, I don't care about NFL, I don't care about NHL, I don't care about all that. And yeah, I played it all when I was growing up. I could care less about what's going on in the sports scenes over there. I only care about UFC and MMA. The good side of this, the light to it all, the people out there, everyone I know that watches any sport has the ESPN app. You're going to be getting, those people are going to be seeing more UFC updates and headlines and stuff like that, where it's going to stick in their head. They're going to have a better chance of, knocking on their door, click a button, bam, it's right there. Instead of, having to stumble on. I mean, who knows about channel FS1, 271? People don't even know about that channel, let alone there's a UFC fight on tonight. What? ESPN's a great platform to help promote the sport, put it in the eyes of the general public. The ESPN app is good with headlines and stuff like that, because you're going to get updates. Oh, Stipe versus Brock Lesnar, or DC versus Brock. You're going to see that even if you're not a fan of MMA, since it's on the ESPN app, you're going to get that headline in front of you. And usually, you don't see that. You usually have to go to an all MMA site or ESPN. Obviously, from here in Connecticut, I was actually trained from the creators of ESPN, some of the guys that are there currently right now. I went to broadcasting school and was trained with some of those guys, and they all say that it's ESPN is definitely a machine, kind of like the UFC is, where it takes in and spits it right back out. Which was kind of why I was nervous about Ariel going over to ESPN, but at the same time, I do think that's a good move for him now. Now that I've listened to a couple of the MMA Hour shows over there, it really isn't any different. I think it's a better platform than MMA Fighting. I think it's better for Ariel. But it's not a permanent thing, which makes me worried. He's an employee there. If the show doesn't do good ratings or whatever, will the ESPN spit him out like they have thousands of media members and broadcasters and journalists before them? Makes me wonder. Still got MMA Wizard saying, still got Bellator, better and better. I agree. Henry Ford, have they done that before with fantasy football? What do you mean? Have they done that before with fantasy football? There's been fantasy football forever. We're talking about the UFC Pick'em app. King Kobe saying, Chill Sutton and Kobe Covington did a podcast. Please don't come down here. I'm live on air. This is so embarrassing. This shit pisses me off more than anything. I hate being disrespected. There's one thing. Like, I go live here for you guys, and this is the shit I have to deal with here. I'm so sick of it. I am so sick of it. At some point in your life, you really just have to be selfish, in my opinion. And at this point in my career, I cannot stand a lot of people around me. I really can't. I really can't. Sometimes you're better off by yourself. There's a lot of toxic people out there. There's a lot of cancerous people that can be around. This goes for everybody. The fighters, this is for everybody. And how you react and how you deal with these situations. This shit gets under my skin. When you're sitting here and you're trying to have a free-flowing mind and talk to an audience, your fucking roommates come downstairs 4 times in an hour and get your do not come downstairs again, please. Thank you. Fucking assholes. I'm gonna flip the camera. Next time somebody comes out, I'm gonna flip the camera around. You're gonna watch me flip. I am gonna entertain you guys by watching me finally fucking snap. This is I've been in this area 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks now. I can't do a fucking live stream in my studio. I have to lock my door. Why do my roommates think I have there's shit down here? There's nothing down here that you need. This is bullshit. Okay. UFC Mike Trizano calling in. What's going on, Mike? The UFC Ultimate Fighter Season 27 lightweight winner on the line here. Mike the Lone Wolf Trizano calling in. What's going on, Mike? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Just chilling here in the studio, kind of trying to put the pieces together, connect the dots, because there was a lot of stuff that went down in MMA this weekend between the Ultimate Fighter Season 27 finale, UFC 226. So we kind of want to brush into some of that with you, man. So obviously, you went in there, you had a fight with Joe Giannetti. What did it feel like making that walk out and finally stepping inside the octagon? Bring us through that. What was going through your head? What was that feeling like?
The greatest feeling in the world. And I had a ton of family there, a ton of friends there, students that I teach, and I guess I had a lot of fans there because when I walked out, that place erupted. It was rocking, and you could hear it through the TV too. I mean, I rewatched the fight a dozen times already, and that place was just blowing the roof off. So it was an amazing feeling. I dreamed about it for years, and to finally do it was a dream come true.
So before this fight even went down, UFC had you guys, standing next to each other. You guys spent all this time in the house. Was there any tension between you and Joe, or was it kind of buddy-buddy? Like, what was the vibe like between you guys before the fight?
No, we were cool. There was no tension or anything like that. We're just competitors going in there and doing our thing. I wasn't feeling uncomfortable around him or anything like that. So it was just a regular fight. No animosity. Just going in there and doing our job.
So obviously you got your hand raised at the end, but the one thing that I thought was a little weird, something I've really never seen before, was round 2. What was going on there? How did you guys even end up in that position? And do you think Herb Dean should have stood you guys up? I'm referring to the moment where you guys are literally like elbowing each other in the coolie.
Yeah, I tell you what. So Mark Goddard was our ref, and I was going for an Americana, and he kind of threw his legs up, and instead of getting caught in like a triangle, like a reverse triangle, I put my other arm through to try and pass, and he just triangled his legs around my body, and to protect myself from getting caught in any leg locks, I kind of just sat over him, and I was hoping by just sitting there that the ref would stand us up, but he left us there for like 2.5 minutes, which, I mean, I thought was ridiculous. He should have just stood us up because there was nothing happening. No significant strikes were being landed. And the fact that he didn't stand us up, I made sure that I stayed on top because if I was on top, I'm winning. So it was definitely really bizarre, but, you can't ever tell what's going to happen in a fight. So I kind of just roll with it.
So going into that second round, what were your coaches saying in the corner? Or excuse me, going into that third round, what were your coaches saying in the corner? Did you think you were up 2 rounds? Where were you guys at that moment?
No, it was 1-1. He definitely won the first round because he got the takedowns. He was on top. And the fact that the second round was bizarre, but if you had to score one way, I definitely got it because I was on top. And then so the third round came, it was tied. So I just went in there and just pressed the pace, and I tried to fight him. He was running the whole time. It's kind of hard to fight somebody if they don't want to fight themselves. So, I was chasing him all over, but I was definitely the more aggressive one, and I landed more strikes than he did, and I was able to get the win. What
do you think was going on with Joe? Because, we saw his performance before that, and, he's a submission specialist, man. He's he's a dangerous fighter. We've seen what he's been able to do on this season. I've been watching him for a while. I've been following you for a while, so this was a really interesting fight. But listen, he looked amazing in the semifinal fight where he was landing these combinations. Like he looked like he was in the video game. Were you surprised that he wasn't as active as he was, in the semifinal? And why do you think that was?
I'm not surprised at the way he approached the fight. I knew he was going to be a little more cautious because definitely a lot more well-rounded than the other 2 fights he had in the house. And I expected him to throw a lot more. I was hoping he would try and push the action towards me because that's what I wanted. I wanted to get in there, but you can never tell what someone's going to do. So I had a game plan and I tried to enforce it. Like I said, it's hard to fight somebody if they're running the whole time.
So the last 5 seconds tick out, the end of the third round. This could go into a 4th round because it's the Ultimate Fighter season. That could happen if it's a draw. If they don't end it on a draw, you would go into a 4th round. So when you got to your corner, did you think that you did enough to win it?
I did, but my coaches were like, be ready for another round. So yeah. I didn't even sit down. I was standing up. I was bouncing around. I was ready to go a 4th round, but no 4th round needed. So
in the time before they raised your hand, what's going through your head there?
You know what? I felt like I won. It was definitely close, and you never know with the judges. So I was kind of like praying to God that I got the win, and I did. So I was a little nerve-wracking because, again, with the judges and their reputations, you never know what's going to be called. You never know what they're watching. So anything could have happened.
So right now, you got your hand raised. You had that amazing moment. What did you do for the rest of the night? That had to be awesome going out. You went through the whole season. Everyone is all over you now. What did you do after? What did you do to celebrate?
I met up with a ton of my family and friends, and we just hung out, partied, and celebrated together. I consider it a win for everybody. I really worked hard. Everybody supported me 100%. It was a team win, not an individual, for sure.
Yo, I'm doing a live show. Please don't come down here. Sorry about that. So, yeah. Oh my God. So you were on Team Stipe here, man, and this season you beat Gunther, you beat Clark. What was your favorite moment? What was your favorite fight this season?
It was definitely my first fight against Thailand. It was the first time I had the UFC gloves on, and I was just super excited to finally get my name called that I was going to fight for the first time on the show, and getting the win and getting the finish was a dream come true. It was an amazing moment.
So, man, what do you think you're going to be doing next? What are the coaches saying to you? What's the direction that you're heading? Obviously, you want to relax for a little bit. You've had a long past couple of months, but what's the direction that we're heading in now? Because you're training at one of the best gyms. You're surrounded by a great team. So what's the vibe like? What's the direction that we're heading in?
Oh, everyone's excited. I'm excited. A lot of the guys are trying to get fights for themselves, and I'm going to try and stay as active as possible. I want to rest up a little bit and get right back into the mix. I want to try and aim to fight sometime in September, October, November.
What's up with the hat, man? Because it was kind of perfect. It was the 4th of July weekend. It's like, the American vibe. But this is something that you've been doing for a long time?
Yeah, I've always had cowboy hats. not just American flag. The American flag cowboy hat's kind of funny. Being in the house, we had a request list, and I had put down on the request list an American flag, and then I put a comma, and then cowboy hat. So I didn't initially ask for an American flag cowboy hat, but that's what they brought me. They kind of just combined the two words, and I just went with it. American flag cowboy hat, and it kind of just stuck. But I mean, that's kind of my style anyway. A little bit of the Western kind of style.
So we know that you train with people like, Jimmy Rivera, who's been on Pure Evil MMA a couple of times. Who else are you training with over at Tiger Schulman's?
Well, with me getting into the UFC, we got 5 guys in the UFC now. It's myself, Shane Burgos, Jimmy Rivera, Lyman Good, and Julio Arce.
Man,
So we're training with the best in the world, and we got a ton of high-level amateurs coming up, and it's just, we got a plethora of guys to train with, and we're all getting each other better. So, I'm excited to finally be back in the gym again and just get the ball rolling. I want to be super active, so I don't like taking time off.
What did you think about UFC 226 main event, man? You got to see the two coaches fight. First, who did you think was going to win, Stipe or DC? How did you think this fight was going to go?
I had Stipe winning. It was unreal. Hats off to DC. Both of them were super, cool and super humble and very helpful to me, and said nothing but good things to me when I was on the show. And I picked Stipe to win just because he was my coach on the show, and he's really cool, and I wanted him to win. But I mean, anything can happen, and he obviously saw that on Saturday night for sure. DC just caught him with a perfectly timed punch, and that's it. Double champ,
So do you think that's enough to make him the greatest of all time, one of the best in there? Where does he fall in the books at heavyweight? He's undefeated at heavyweight. Stipe was, the first guy to defend that title that many times. Where does DC fall as of now after that big win?
He has to be among the top of all time. You can't argue it. He's the champ at light heavyweight, and now he's the champ at heavyweight. I mean, that's something you can't argue. He's got 2 belts in the 2 heaviest weight classes. He's a bad dude.
I was talking about at the beginning of the show, who did it better? Was it Conor McGregor or DC? And I immediately said, if you look at it on paper, DC's kind of had the harder road to get where he is right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of even. I mean, McGregor beat everybody at featherweight. He had the guys at featherweight are very good. The talent pool is deep there. It's deep in 155. And, I mean, yeah, he didn't kind of climb the ladder at 155. He pretty much just fought one fight. But I still think that it's pretty equal. I mean, either weight classes, they're all challenging. So I can't really give one or the other. I think it's both equally impressive.
Well, obviously, after the fight got through, we saw Brock Lesnar step inside the octagon once again. Was that a surprise to you? How do you feel about this?
I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I personally think Stipe should get an immediate rematch. I mean, the dude has defended the heavyweight title the most times out of any heavyweight ever. He definitely deserves to have a rematch for sure. But I don't see why they're bringing in a guy who tested positive right as soon as he's eligible to come back and he's getting a title shot. I don't know how I feel about that. But again, it's a money fight. People are going to buy it and watch it. So, I mean, business-wise, it's a good thing. But other than that, I feel like Stipe should get the rematch first.
So I've been asking a lot of people this that have been on, the season with you. Obviously, everybody was undefeated. What did you learn the difference between ego and confidence?
Yeah, I mean, everybody was super cool and very professional. Everybody thought they could beat everybody. That's what fighter doesn't think they could beat everybody. I mean, but I think everybody understood that we're all undefeated, we're all good. There's no reason to cause drama and talk smack to each other. Like, we're gonna fight regardless, and
that's it. You know, I think this was a very professional show. There wasn't too much stupid things that happened, and yeah, I mean, there's a fine line between confident and cocky, and I think a lot of the guys were pretty good on that end, staying confident with themselves, but not being like overconfident, you know.
My last question to you, man, is who did you grow closest with on this season?
I definitely grew closest with Jay Cuccinello.
Hey, the mellow fellow.
Mellow fellow, he's my boy. He's a great guy. You know, works super hard. You know, me and him were constantly partnering up and training. You know, every day, and he's a tough dude. You know, he fought his heart out, got a second chance, made the most of it, and you know, he didn't get the win on Friday, but you know, he fought his heart out, and it's not the end for him. He'll be back for sure.
Man, did he surprise you in the the semifinal fight against Tyler?
No, not at all. Jay's a resilient dude. You know, he's been through a lot, and you're gonna have to kill him to get him out of there. So he's a tough dude to finish. He keeps pushing no matter how tired he is, no matter how hurt he is. So it doesn't shock me at all the way it went.
Man, this was such an exciting season. It's so sad that there's only going to be one more season left. I know I said that was the last question, but this is the last question, and I promise. What was your favorite season of Ultimate Fighter in past years that you'd recommend to somebody?
My favorite?
Yeah.
I haven't really watched too many of them, but I definitely enjoyed watching the heavyweight season when they brought in Kimbo Slice. I'd say watch that one, to be honest. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I actually do a show with James McSweeney.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who was the first pick for Team Rashad. He was over with Brandon. That was a great season, man. Now they're doing a Kimbo Slice movie with the lead actor from Black Panther. Like this is crazy. Ultimate Fighter has opened so many doors. It's so sad that it's ending. So, man, it means a lot that you guys all joined me this season, and you guys did amazing. Congratulations on being the lightweight winner this season, and we want to wish you best of skill moving forward. Last but not least, is there anything else that you'd like to get out on the table? The floor is all yours.
I mean, I appreciate you having me on the show. You know, and just give a shout out to some of my sponsors, Pro Beer PT for keeping me healthy. We also got Tiger Showman's Pro Shop giving me all the best gear, and you know, shout out to my family, my friends, my girlfriend. You know, everybody really helps me and pushes me to be the best I could possibly be. So I can't thank them enough. And just follow me on social media, Twitter and Instagram at the Lone Wolf MMA.
Hey, where did you put your big trophy that you got?
It's in my school where I teach in Tiger Showman.
No way, huh?
I brought it in to show all my students and everybody, so they're all excited.
You know what I like about that? Do you remember, what was it, Glack or on Nickelodeon, there used to be a show where it's like these kids would climb crazy mountains and do all these crazy things, and it kind of looks like one of those awards. It's pretty cool, man. So that's got to be such a good feeling. You've had an amazing run on this season, and thank you so much for joining us here on Pure Evil MMA. Last but not least, can you say your name and you're listening to Pure Evil MMA?
Say it again?
Last but not least, can you just say, hey guys, it's Mike the Lone Wolf Trizano, and you're listening to Pure Evil MMA?
Hey everybody, it's Mike the Lone Wolf Trizano, and you're listening to Pure Evil MMA.
Thank you, Mike. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we're looking forward to your future blossoming.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
There you go. Ultimate Fighter Season 27 winner, Mike Trizano, joining us here at Pure Evil MMA, episode number 127. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe we're almost at episode 130. I'm going to be setting up my GoPro now, guys. Once again, quick reminder, teespring.com/pureevilmma swag. You guys can get your hands on all the latest new swag that we got here. Mugs for $10, stickers for $3.99, everything. Every price has been lowered. I'm not making barely anything off of it. It's more for you guys to go out there and be part of the street team out there. Represent, put on for Pure Evil MMA. That's what it's all about. We have a lot of fun here in the MMA scene. We are here to enjoy life and enjoy the sport. We all have issues going on in our lives, whether it's our boss or our fucking roommates walking downstairs to piss us off. And this sport is a release, a getaway for us to kind of just feel at peace, man. And it's kind of funny because people think it's such a violent sport, but like I listen to metal to go to sleep. Like there's something calming about it all. And I think right now, I always say this, I think right now is a really interesting time in our sport. There's a big transition coming. I can feel it with this ESPN thing. Good things are going to be happening for our sport. And I'm telling you guys right now, we are the future of MMA media. Luke Thomas, Ariel, they've all done amazing jobs. Wagenheim, they've all done great. Someone's next. That someone's me. That someone is Nolan King. That someone is the MMA Olds. We're coming for it. It's there for the taking. And all it takes is just to be consistent. Keep doing this. So I appreciate you guys joining me once again here at Pure Evil MMA for another week, another episode. Really quick before we end today's show, I'm going to check in one more time with the chat room. If you guys have any questions, shoot. You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. If you're listening to the podcast, you're kind of lucky that you didn't have to see a lot of these comments in here. Henry Ford, Trizano will beat Dan Hooker for the lightweight title in 2020. Look into it. Eddie Bravo, look into it. Imagine that. That would be man, there's been some crazy things that have happened in the sport. If you told me that Max Holloway was going to be champ when he lost to freaking Dustin or Connor, like, dude, you're crazy. You're crazy. Look at him now. Look at how Max has blossomed, how he's confident in his health. If he beat Brian Ortega, man, even Brian Ortega. I mean, I know he's not champ yet, but let's listen. The way he's got pieced up in his last couple of fights, if you told me, 2-3 years ago that T-City was going to be getting a title shot and that he was going to have all this support behind him, I'd be pretty blown away, man. I'd be pretty blown away. What about, MMA Wizard goes, what about the super heavyweight division in the UFC? I don't know about the super heavyweight division, but Ultimate Fighter Season 28, the final season, will be heavyweights. And it's going to be coached by Kelvin Gastelum going up against Robert Whitaker. This was announced this weekend. I do like that it's going to be another heavyweight season. We haven't seen heavyweight since Season 10 with, Big Brown, with James, with Justin Wren, Roy Nelson, Kimbo, Matt Mitrione, Big Baby. that was a really good season. Rampage and Rashad. That was a great season, Season 10. So hopefully this will kind of... it's going to be sad to watch the Ultimate Fighter go, but I'm happy that they're ending on a heavyweight season because the heavyweight division definitely needs some more new fresh faces in there. So I believe the roster, or a few names were just actually announced. I believe at Nolan King's page, I think. He's usually the one that's updating people on, some of the announcements, fight updates and stuff like that. He's your go-to guy for stuff like that. That's Nolan King at MMA_Kings. Mike H checking in. Hi, Eddie. What's going on, Mike? Shout out to Mike, man, because he's part of Pure Evil MMA since day one. Another one of these guys that has been here since the start. I got to respect that a lot. Henry Ford, if you don't listen to Maneater, then listening to the Rumpy Band, Black Fellow, White Fellow. What is going on here in the chat room? Mike H, I can fight for heavyweight. I love it. Love it. All right, guys, let me check out here. I got to set up the camera. It is Wednesday night. Kind of weird. No Ultimate Fighter tonight. Me and Ted not going to be going live tonight. But make sure you guys subscribe to the new podcast I am doing with James McSweeney from the Ultimate Fighter. UFC veterans fought people like Travis Brown, Roy Nelson, Matt Mitrione, K1. This guy's a monster. Absolute monster. And we're going to be having on Zul Efren, who is the Jason Statham of Thailand. He's going to be joining us either next episode or the episode after. We are still looking for a name for our show. Right now, it's just currently James McSweeney versus Evil Eddie here on YouTube. I did upload last week's episode 2 here on Pure Evil MMA. If you guys want to check it out. But the podcast, the audio podcast download is available on all Pure Evil MMA platforms. That is iTunes, Podbean. Now we're on Spotify as well. I got to update this. We're on Spotify. Everyone has Spotify. This is so simple. If you are listening to your favorite band, if you're listening to Deftone, listening to As I Lay Dying, whatever you're into, Celine Dion, whatever. So simple. You listen to that, go to search, type Pure Evil MMA, boom, right there. You don't have to download a different app. You don't have to download Podbean. You don't have to Go searching for it on the internet. If you don't have an iPhone, you can't get iTunes. I know that's frustrating. And it took a long time to get on the Spotify, man. I'm so happy that we're on there finally. So you guys can subscribe there. It's iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Podomatic. I'm your buddy from Pure Evil MMA, myMMAnews.com. White knuckles till the end. Behave yourselves.